Forest Park Council Meeting Number 1326, December 17, 2018. Let us stand for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Burns.
Here.
Collins.
Here.
Herbie.
Here.
Holt.
Here.
Johnson.
Here.
Moore. Nuss.
Here.
Is there a motion, Councilwoman Herbie?
I would move to excuse Councilwoman Moore.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we excuse Councilwoman Moore. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by the sign of voting aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We will excuse Councilwoman Moore. Next item number 2 is minutes. Everybody should have received a copy of the minutes. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, the minutes will stand approved as presented. Item number 3, presentations. First of these presentations will be Business of the Month Award, McDonald's on Omniplex Drive. December Business of the Month, McDonald's Omniplex. Our award winner tonight is no stranger to the community. McDonald's on Omniplex Drive has received many awards over the years. Owner Pat Pauling has made significant investments to renovate this location inside and out on several different occasions. His restaurant is also a consistent winner in our Commercial Beautification Awards program. If you've not had a chance to do so, I encourage you to stop in and see how nice their building is. This is not your typical McDonald's franchise. However, the family's investments are not limited to the buildings and grounds. The Pauling family also invests a great deal in the people who work in their restaurants. They offer innovative and effective programs to train employees not only for working at McDonald's, but for succeeding in life. As a result, you see a number of people who have been employed there for quite some time. In addition, the Paulings and their workers contribute their time, talent, and resources to numerous community and school programs. The owners truly believe that it is their employees who drive the success of this brand. Indeed, their entire team works diligently to provide each and every customer with a top-notch experience that is sure to have them saying, "I'm loving it." In recognition of their many renovative projects over the years and ongoing commitments to our community, the City of Forest Park is proud to recognize the McDonald's on Omniplex Drive as its December Business of the Month. Is there someone from McDonald's to accept the award? Come on up. Congratulations, ladies.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. The City of Forest Park Business of the Month, McDonald's on Omniplex Drive, in recognition of the company's contribution to the growth and development of the City of Forest Park. Congratulations again. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, wait a minute, you can't leave. You have to talk. Somebody has to speak.
Oh.
Come on.
Oh, go ahead, Julie.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Thank you so much.
I don't think either one of us were planning this, but we do appreciate everything. Like we said, Mr. Pauling I've been with the same family for 40 years. Nicole is our new GM. She's been there quite a long time too, very driven. We have, like you said, we foster the ideas, of, we are different than most McDonald's, I'm pretty sure. I think it all goes back to our owner. We enjoy working for Mr. Pauling. He's just a great person to work for, and we're proud to be a part of Forest Park here. So, come on down. We're, yeah, not 24, yeah, we're loving it.
Hold on just a minute.
Okay.
I can personally attest to the service at that McDonald's. I have my own personal private waitress. She's server, thank you. She knows how to make my coffee just perfect. 2 Splendors, a half a cup of cream, and 3 stirs, and that gets it every day. Yeah. So, as they say, come on down and you'll love it. Again, thank you for being in Forest Park, and we look forward to you being here for many years to come.
Thank you so
Congratulations.
And your name was?
I'm Chuck Johnson. I'm the mayor.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I'm Chuck Johnson. I'm the mayor.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for
Thank
everything.
you.
Our next presentation is Eagle Scout Certificate, Anthony Booker. All right. Congratulations, young
Appreciate
man.
it, sir.
City of Forest Park, certificate of recognition presented to Anthony Ricardo Booker Jr. for attaining the rank of Eagle Scout on November 10, 2018. Anthony, congratulations on your achievement.
Yes, sir.
Come on. This is an outstanding achievement. I don't know how many of you were or are still scouts. And even those among us who were, very, very few reached this plateau of Eagle. It's akin to becoming a general, and there aren't a whole lot of them. And with this, it's not a matter of who you know. It's a matter of what you do and what you can do. So Anthony, again, congratulations. We're very proud of you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Now, we do have a, tell us what you did to get this scout.
Well, basically, to be an Eagle Scout, you serve as a Cub Scout for about 4 years, and then you serve as Eagle Scout for about 3 or 4 years, or a Boy Scout for 3 or 4 years, and you go through ranks, tenderfoot, 2nd class, 1st class, star in life, and then when you're a life, you get like a little assessment, or you have to complete badges throughout the way, and I completed 28, and it was required to have 22 to be an Eagle Scout. And then we had to do a project at life also to achieve the Eagle Scout, and I just made quilt display holders for my church in Lincoln Heights, and they were going to display those up in February, and basically that's what I did for my presentation for Eagle. And then after that, I had a board review, kind of like an interview with the head of the Danbury County, and they said I achieved the Eagle, so that's my journey.
That's exciting.
Thank you, Anthony.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations. Hold on just a second. Councilwoman.
Anthony, we are so excited. I was a Cub Master for Dan Beard for a while, and as well as my son's Cub Scout leader for 3 years. So I'm extremely excited about this. Couldn't quite get him to keep going on. It's probably too much after our tent flooded. But anyways, question for you is, what troop were you with, and have you been with that same troop for the duration of your journey?
Troop 772, and I've been in there since Cub Scout.
Is that the one in Lincoln Heights?
Yes, ma'am. Lincoln Heights Missionary back.
And who's your leader?
Mr. McClellan.
Okay.
Madam McClellan.
Anyone else? Mr. Barnes.
So Anthony, as the mayor said, you've reached a plateau that very few have gotten to. During the time that we've been able to serve Forest Park, there's only been 2, and you're the second.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
I know a few others, but each Eagle Scout, they wear that proudly through their years. They are good people of high character, highly driven, and you don't know it, but you just put on your back the biggest badge of honor with the highest level of expectation that anyone could have. But it's a good thing, because it speaks to your character, your will, and your willingness to serve. Thank you for doing this. And, you know, just by the title, I know you're a good person,
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
right? And that's a great thing.
And then last thing, what's next? Are you a senior?
Yes, ma'am.
So you're afforded some scholarship opportunities as well with this Eagle Scout. So what's next?
Well, I look to go into college and study in business or education. I haven't decided yet. And then to play college football. I have a couple of football scholarships as well.
Oh, so jocks can be Eagle Scouts too?
Denise, Councilwoman Hope.
I want to say congratulations. That's my cousin. It's in the genes. Congratulations, Anthony.
Hello. I wanted to say congratulations, and every Eagle Scout that I know who are certainly adults now, when they say that, well, you have to drag it out of them first. They don't brag. But once you find out that they're an Eagle Scout, it just speaks volumes about the path and the journey they've been on and the type of dedication and persistence that they have. And you really have just mapped your future out at such a phenomenal level. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Again, thank you, sir. And I'll walk over there with you. Carrie. Councilwoman Herbie, yeah.
Congratulations, Anthony. I have a good friend whose son is an Eagle Scout, and I know what you have to go through to do that. That's great, great dedication, and it says it's a great credit to you that you're a fine young man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
And I'm sure you thanked your family for helping you through all this. Of
course.
And we do too. Thank you. And next, we have 3 oaths of office. We'll ask the chief and the assistant chief or whichever or whoever is doing. Okay, the first one, Fire Lieutenant Chris Arnold. Congratulations, Chris. Good to see you.
Yeah, you too.
Raise your right hand, repeat after me. I, and state your name,
I, Chris Arnold,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I would support
that I will support
the Constitution
the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of Ohio,
of the State of Ohio,
the Charter
the Charter
of the City of Forest Park, Ohio,
of the City of Forest Park, Ohio,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
honestly,
honestly,
and impartially
and impartially
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
as Fire Lieutenant.
as Fire Lieutenant.
Congratulations, Chris.
Thank you, Mayor.
There he is. Okay. Still with you, because you're his son, right?
Yes.
Again, as she said, Gene's running in the family. This is Chris's son. He's he's an explorer firefighter, so he's following in Dad's footsteps. And one of these days, we're going to be pinning that on him too. Or the roles will reverse. Okay? Chris, would you like to have a word for us, please?
Thank you all for this tonight. This is great. That's my other son over there. First and foremost, thank my beautiful wife for putting up with me and my family. Also, everyone who's helped me. Captain Martin has been a big help, a big benefit to me. And all the chiefs, everybody, the whole department just comes around, and we're all brothers there, brothers and sisters, and feels great to have the support that we have here in this community. I really think public service is a calling, and I just want to continue what I've been doing in this capacity. And thank you all for allowing me to do that.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank
Just have a seat. We're going to have some comments before we start with. We'll do the oath for all of them before we get to comments. The next oath of office is Firefighter Paramedic Clinton Platt. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, state your name,
I, Clint Platt,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of Ohio,
of the State of Ohio,
the Charter
the Charter
of the City of Forest Park, Ohio,
of the City of Forest Park, Ohio,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
honestly,
honestly,
and impartially
and impartially
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
as firefighter paramedic.
as firefighter paramedic.
Congratulations. Clint. So who's complete that?
Of course, I want to thank my wife, Jasmine, as well as my family and friends who are here in the audience tonight, here to support me. I want to thank the brothers at the firehouse that I work shoulder to shoulder with every day, as well as Chief Jones, Chief Hill, who've helped me along the way as well. I don't know if you guys know, but I grew up here in Forest Park, so I'm very appreciative to be serving here, and I thank you guys all for the opportunity to do so. Thank you.
Congratulations again, sir. Next oath of office is Officer Nathan Flannery. Again, repeat after me. I, and state your name,
I, Nathan Flannery,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of Ohio,
of the State of Ohio,
the Charter
the Charter
of the City of Forest Park, Ohio,
of the City of Forest Park, Ohio,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
honestly,
honestly,
and impartially
and impartially
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
as firefighter paramedic.
as firefighter paramedic.
Congratulations. Come on, Nate.
I just want to thank my parents for coming out. I want to thank the City of Forest Park and the Fire Department for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thanks again. Congratulations. Okay. You guys are up.
All right. I'll try to keep it short, but thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council, for allowing us this celebration for this evening. I also like to thank Carol Hayes, who was our boss next door. Thank you for getting these things set up for us. To the young men that just became firefighter paramedics full-time with the City of Forest Park, I ask you as public servants to serve our public as best as you can. I'm always looking for some type of value-added service that we can give to our public. For the amount of money or taxes they pay, let's do something a little extra. Let's give a little bit more. Because at the end of the day, once we give more, we'll feel better about ourselves when we go home the next day. Lieutenant Arnold, what I'm looking for you is to manage these young men that are on your shift and give them guidance. At the same time, I'm looking forward to leading of change. Let's change the model. Let's make our department a lot different than what you see regionally. Let's be the best department in the area. And that's all I have to say, but congratulations, and I'll move on and let Jay Hill have it.
Come on, Jay. We know you got to say something.
How you doing, sir? All right. Council, thank you so much. Let's see. So I prayed about what to talk about when I got here, and I was led to Galatians. And it's Galatians chapter 6, verse 9, and it says, "Let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up." Guys, you have tremendous hearts, tremendous talents. And first and foremost, I want to thank your families for lending you guys to us. I promise you, we will take care of your sons, your husbands, your nephews, your dads. And it just means so much to me. Lieutenant Arnold, Arnie, as we lovingly call him at the firehouse, I used to run squad with Arnold, and Arnold he's that keep it real friend. He's your nah dog friend. When you're about to do something that you shouldn't, he's like, nah dog, don't do that. He'll guide you the right way. So Arnold, I know that you'll do that for your crew. Nathan Flannery, you bring that spark of energy that Forest Park needs. Nathan, he is wonderful in doing public education. He's just a natural with the students, and I love him for it. Clinton Eastwood Platt, my brother, Forest Park's very own. You're going to be so big in the recruitment of more men like yourself and women of this community. When they see that one of their own can be in the firehouse and can be an employee and can be a great example, they'll say, well, why can't I? You know, Clint comes from the same place that we do, Firefighter Platt. Clint also, he does a lot of community activities with us. He and one of our other firefighters, they've taken a firefighter fitness drill and just went gung-ho with it, and they're taking it places that I couldn't have. So I just look forward to watching your journey, and that's all I got for today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Comments from council? Someone hurry.
Yes, and I'm kind of speaking to the new firefighters. There's a real tradition in this community of terrific leadership in our public safety departments particularly. You have many people to look up to and many people who can be great mentors for you. You bring a lot yourself, but you can learn a lot from the people here. They are excellent, excellent role models, and you will be one of those, I know. Thank you. Congratulations.
I just want to say congratulations to the three of you. I know you would do great work in the city of Forest Park, and thanks for choosing to be here in the city of Forest Park. And Forest Park owned, thanks for staying in your city. Really appreciate you guys.
Hello, all three of you and the rest of the fire department. I'm Councilwoman Collins, and I'm from a household where my father is going through the journey of dementia, and prior to being placed in a nursing home, he was at home going through that journey. So many times we had to rely on the fire department and sometimes the police department, but many times the fire department when he went on unescorted walks and fell and needed other types of paramedic emergency services. There's something about when you're going through a trauma of that sort, once you dial 911 and the dispatcher says they're on their way, and then you start hearing the siren, there's a bit of, okay, they're here, my help is here. And I believe all of us citizens experience that when we are called upon in an emergency situation to need your services. So I want to say in advance, thank you for doing what you do, for doing what you're about to do. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being that solid sense of, okay, help is here and it's going to be all right. Because that's what happens to us as residents when we rely upon our fire department and police department and other public services. We think in terms of, okay, they got it. It's going to be all right. So thank you for that from the bottom of my heart.
Anyone else?
My colleagues have pretty much said what I'm thinking, but just please know that all those long hours that you're spending and all that time and energy that you're using for the education, the training, and the community education that you're doing, that it is not wasted. You're going to be called increasingly to more and more issues where you've got mental health issues, things going on, and those numbers are getting higher. And we just want to say a huge, huge thank you. Please continue to take all that compassion with you for our residents, as I know you already do. And we just really appreciate you on those hard days. Know that we're thinking about you, and your safety is our utmost importance too.
Congratulations to all of you. But first of all, I'd like to thank your families because, as most of them probably already know, you're with us 50% of the time. And that's a huge, huge sacrifice. Those nights that you're at the firehouse, on your detail, those fire runs and the late night call that says, I'm okay. The news that says Forest Park was sent X, Y, and Z place, and you weren't there, but you're okay. Thank you for praying for your loved one. We will pray for them and pray for you. And now to you, every time I look at a firefighter, I always think about the Good Samaritan, right? And the reason I do that is because if you know the story, the Good Samaritan met an enemy who was in distress, and he put aside his feeling for compassion for that person. And you will find that in some cases, you will be challenged. It may not be an enemy. It may be someone who doesn't think like you, right, or have the same belief as you, but you put that aside for the service of the community in which you serve, for the purpose in which you have in that badge. And for that, you should be commended. Thank you for your service. Thank you for being here, and thank you, and God bless you.
I'm always proud when I stand here, of all of the years that I've been doing this. I think when I first started doing this, none of these people were part of the fire department. And I'll look out there and I see all of my friends and all of my buddies who are there. Chris, you've been around for a little while, and you other guys are now full-time brothers of the fraternity. For those of you who do not get to interact with these young men and women on a daily basis, and by a daily basis, I mean, go over, if you're not over having a cup of coffee with them or just chatting with them, getting to know them, two things. One, first and foremost, they're just regular people like everybody else. They do all of the things that other regular people do, but they do it in a way that makes you proud. Just to be able to sit around and listen to these guys talk. Or if you ever have the opportunity to make a run with them and see how business-like they are. It's not something that I've done in quite a long time. I can recall riding on an EMT unit, and they picked up a young girl, 16 years old, who had her child on the way, and I'm sitting in the back wondering, I'm glad I don't have to do this every day. But they never miss a beat. They're always doing the right things. And one of the right things that they do, and they do extremely well. And I get over there to join them in doing it as often as I can. These guys are some of the greatest cooks in the world. I'm telling you, if you haven't had that opportunity, and don't all of you rush over there at once, but I'm telling you, they can flat out cook. And fortunately, I get to see them in the preparing stage. I run into them at Kroger's, and my first question is, "What's for dinner today?" And they are a family, and we're glad that they're part of our family here in Forest Park. I don't care where they are and what they're doing. Even if we're over at the senior center for somebody's retiring, or if they're in here like these guys are standing out there now, when that bell rings, they drop everything and they get there. I know that one of the things that our department prides itself on, I don't care where it is in Forest Park, I guarantee you have my promise. in under 5 minutes, they are going to be there, period. There's no doubts about it. And the last thing I'll say to all of you, and I know you guys know it, the fire department could not run, period, without her. If you don't think that's the case, let her not be there one day and see what happens. So in addition to thanking you all of you guys out there, you guys in here who just took the oath, let's thank her as well, because she's the straw that stirs the drink, period. Congratulations, guys. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Before we move to item 4, which is communications from the public, this is the time when normally you all get up and leave, and that's fine because we're getting ready to do the business of council. You're welcome to stay, obviously, but you are not obligated to stay. Congratulations. Gentlemen, Chris, yes? Nate?
You gotta keep
Nate? All right. Thank you.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Right,
Congratulations.
Chris, you couldn't get your son to dress up?
Okay, we will now move to item number 4, communications from the public. This is the time for citizens to comment on matters before council or to ask questions of concern to them. When recognized, please come forward to the podium, give your name and address, and then state your comments or questions. Council meetings are taped for ease of transcription. Comments are limited to 5 minutes. Is there anyone from the public who would like to address council on any matter? Would you come up and sign in and tell us who you are and let us hear what you want to tell us.
Hello. My name is Monique Mason-Halter. I live in Green Hills, in the neighborhood across the street from West Sharon Road, where you provided a permit to start construction to install fiber underground. As you are aware, there is nothing but woods behind where the fiber is installed on Sharon Road and on Lakeview Drive. Forest Park homes start farther down. Our concerns include a reduction in our property value as well as health risks. Research has already proven that these small cells will reduce our property value. Research has also proven that exposure to all sources of wireless radiation is harmful. It's not just about cancer. According to links posted at the Environmental Health Trust website, most insurance companies don't cover sources of electromagnetic fields, or EMFs, including radio frequencies, and they don't cover illnesses caused by long-term exposure. EMFs are classified as a pollutant, alongside smoke, chemicals, and asbestos. You have to purchase additional pollution liability or pollution enhancement coverage to cover EMFs. These policies usually don't pay for damage caused by EMFs either, like when they disrupt or interfere with any device, appliance, system, electronic wire or network, utility satellite, utilizing satellite or cellular technology. So who is responsible if something goes wrong with these small cells? I ask because the city of Ann Arbor, Michigan, has an exclusion policy which excludes mitigation and harm from EMFs, as well as paying for the defense of, quote, any supervision, instruction, recommendation, warning, or advice given, or which should have been given in connection with bodily injury, property damage abatement and/or mitigation, etc. In regard to health risk, since 2004, the International Association of Firefighters has opposed the use of their stations for cell towers and antennas until it can be proven that it is not harmful. This was all printed from their website. Even though the Telecom Act of 1996, Section 704, prevents wireless infrastructure from not being installed due to biological and environmental risk, California firefighters still managed to get an ordinance that exempts their stations from cell towers and antennas. I know there is legislation that has made it difficult for municipal governments to prevent this installation. However, other municipal governments, including in Ohio, have tried to stop this in their communities. In October, Washington, D.C. advisory commissions took action against 5G deployment due to health concerns, property devaluations, and aesthetic issues. More recently, in Burlington, Vermont, they actually did stop small cell tower installation. According to an article I read, the attorney who represented Verizon said that the company took exception with some of the conditions, particularly the recertification process, which would charge Verizon a nominal fee to get certified each year. The U.S. Conference of Mayors also threatened to sue the FCC about this legislation. It doesn't seem to be constitutional. Current FCC guidelines, safety guidelines, were written over 20 years ago when cell phones were huge, cell towers were few and far between, and Wi-Fi wasn't everywhere. They don't apply to how we use or are exposed to technology today. This has been heavily debated for many years. In regard to 5G, Senator Patrick Colbeck of Michigan has given congressional testimony on research proving harm from 5G. He also released a solutions-oriented paper, Wireless Radiation Brief. Senator Richard Blumenthal of Connecticut has asked the FCC to provide evidence that 5G is safe before installing more of it. There have been adverse health effects reported in New York City. After 5G was installed, Dr. Naomi Wolf posted information on her social media pages about people and pets being affected by it. A court case was won in Gateshead, England, about harm caused by 5G that had been installed in street lamps. In 2014, the Wall Street Journal reported in an article called "Cell Phone Boom Spurs Antenna Safety Worries" that 1 in 10 cell tower antenna sites violated federal RF radiation rules, and there weren't enough employees to correct this. Are you responsible for making sure this doesn't happen near our homes? Because of all of these reasons, I am asking that you find a way to not allow small cells and other wireless infrastructure to be installed near our neighborhood. I hope you will also consider this for Forest Park neighborhoods and the entire community as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Hodges and Mr. Wyckoff, when we receive, like you said, you had we will pass this information on to the two of them, and they will look at the issue. Anyone else from the public wish to address the council? Yes.
Hi. My name is Shelley Keating. I'm a resident of Green Hills, and I...
Excuse me, could you please sign in? And
oh, I did.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. My name is Shelley Keating. I'm a resident of Green Hills, and I live in the neighborhood across the street from the West Sharon Road, where you provided a permit to contractors to install fiber underground for Verizon. I bought and moved into my home in July, and when I was looking for a house, I intentionally sought one that was not close to any cell towers, wireless infrastructure, or electrical power grids, because I was concerned about the exposure risks. I'm a cancer survivor. I'm currently in remission, will always be in remission from Hodgkin's disease. And I'd read a lot of research about the potential for harm that this wireless radiation causes. And because of this, I have personally been taking a lot of steps at my own home, at my residence, and on my person to just reduce or eliminate all those sources of wireless. But by granting the permit, my property value is not only going to be lowered, but you'll have taken away my ability to protect myself and my loved ones from exposure after the small cells are installed. Any future medical costs are going to be mine. The pain and suffering will be mine if I become ill from this. And I realize that state and federal legislation has made it difficult for municipal governments to prevent this kind of installation. However, other municipal governments are taking measures to stop this, including Burlington, Vermont. And as Monique mentioned, if you weren't aware, Gateshead, England residents became sick after the 5G was installed in their street lamps, and they eventually won their court case. Here's some just brief information I found about it online. Gateshead Council ignored clear evidence presented by a credible expert and engineer on a harm being caused by these streetlights and 5G. They even misused police powers to gag him. However, eventually the council had to pay out $11K of taxpayers' money to cover the court cost. None of the council officers could explain what 5G even is, and their leading government expert refused to attend the court hearing. Scientific evidence is mounting around the world that EMF, RF, 3G, 4G, 5G, Wi-Fi, and Y-gig is causing cancer and other health issues, killing bees, driving out wildlife, etc. You have given consent to install this near my home. Have you done research to prove that it's safe? And are you insured if something goes wrong? Now is the time to be prudent with this new technology. There are elected officials in other parts of the country that are speaking out and they're protecting the public, and I'm just asking you to consider doing the same for all of us. I give you this, is what I'm saying, and then this is an article about what has happened to the people in Gateshead.
Thank you.
Thanks for considering that.
Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Signed in already. Good evening. I'm Todd Bricker. I'm a resident of Green Hills. I live at 2 January Court. It's in the northeast corner, so there's much of Forest Park that's actually closer to my house than much of Green Hills. And I've come tonight to share the concern that the two ladies who've spoken before have. I haven't done the amount of research that they have, but they made me aware that there are some important differences between the existing technologies that are being used and the new 5G technologies that are going to be implemented. And I think the two that caused me the most concern are the fact that they're going to, instead of having the centrally located or the large towers in mostly commercial areas, that this new technology is going to have cell towers that are going to be installed, smaller cell towers that are going to be installed in neighborhoods near people's houses where they have to live by them. And also the actual higher frequency ranges are new to the cell phone usage, and I've been made aware that there's concern that these new higher frequency ranges may also have health effects that haven't been fully identified yet. And so that before it's actually fully implemented, maybe it's good to keep an eye on this and keep aware of the developments as far as anybody who might be alert to new perils that we haven't been managing until now. And it does make sense to me. I'm a retired mechanical engineer, so in college I had quite a bit of science courses, and so I've seen what they've had in their research because I hadn't had a chance to really look it up yet. But I say that a lot of that does make sense, and that there is definitely, if not proof, it warrants a definite close concern. And that's basically all I have to say about that subject. And I was glad that I was here when the firefighters were sworn in, because my family, although we're in Green Hills, have had Forest Park firefighters and paramedics come to their aid. My father and mother and many of my elderly neighbors have had the advanced services provided on a very timely basis and with a good result, fortunately. And I just wanted to say that I really appreciate having that nearby high level of service available, and it's very comforting and very reassuring to me. And I want to thank the firefighters of Forest Park for their service, not only to Forest Park, but to my community and the other communities.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else to address council? As I said, this issue will be passed on to Mr. Hodges and or possibly Mr. Wyckoff to take a look at. If there are no other communications from the public, then we will move on to the next item on the agenda, which would be reports of standing committees. The first of those, Community Development Committee, Mr. Burns.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just by way of information, there was a meeting today in 3B is related to the feral cat issue at Hardin Court. Several community members from that street did attend that meeting to discuss options and the going forward plan that the city has as relates to getting that cat population under control. As you can possibly imagine, there was a level of passion on both sides of that conversation. However, with the numbers and the current status of those cats, they do pose a health and safety issue for the community at large, but emanating from that street. I did attend that meeting with the mayor, and I think it ended amicably with a clear understanding of what the plan will be starting in sometime at the beginning of the year. With that, I would conclude my report.
Any questions for Mr. Burns? Hearing none, Mr. Burns, I have only one issue on the agenda for you for the meeting on the 7th. Energy Aggregation Program presentation with Mr. Wright. Gwen, do you have anything to add?
No, I do not.
Thank you. Next report, Law Committee, Councilwoman Collins.
Mr. Mayor, I do not have a report from the Law Committee at this time. However, I am available to answer any questions that others might have.
Any questions for Councilwoman Collins? Hearing none. Councilwoman Collins, I don't have any items on the agenda for you for the work session on the 7th. Do you have any to add?
I would like to wish the citizens a very Merry Christmas, happy holiday season. I hope everyone is blessed by the new year and everyone is comforted and safe going into the new year. Thank you.
Thank you. Next committee report is Human Resources, Councilwoman Holt.
I do not have a human resource report, but I would like to say that the Beautification Commission did go out this past Wednesday for the decoration judging. And I want to express my appreciation to all of those that participated in the decoration. With that, it would conclude my report. Thank you.
Any questions for Councilwoman Holt? Hearing none, Councilwoman Holt, I have no items on the agenda for you for the work session. Do you have any to add?
No, I do not. Thank you.
Next committee report is Councilwoman Moore, who is absent. Does anyone on her committee have a report for her? Seeing no one, and there are no agenda items for her on the work session for the 7th. Next committee report, Public Safety, Councilwoman Ness.
I don't have a report. Just wanted to say that we had an excellent turnout for the tree lighting ceremony over at the senior center, and it's really nice to see We Thrive that provided different goodies, and they had the most delicious cookie I think I ever tasted. I had about 8 of them. And it was delicious, and all the kids from the school district, even the superintendent was present, and it was a really, really good event. So I'm really happy about that. And happy holidays.
Any questions for Councilwoman Nuss? Councilwoman Nuss, I have no items on the agenda for you for the 7th. Do you have anything to add?
I don't believe so. Nothing.
Next committee, Ways and Means, Councilwoman Herbie.
Yes, I have no report from Ways and Means, but I did want to make a comment about the decorations around the city. I've made special note of them, and they're wonderful and lovely. And I congratulate all the people who have decorated their homes, and especially the winners that we'll probably find out about in January. And I also want to wish everyone very happy holidays and a very happy new year. Thank you.
Thank you. Next report, Councilwoman Herbie. I had any questions for Councilwoman Herbie? Hearing none, Councilwoman Herbie, I have no items on the agenda for you for the 7th. Do you have any to add?
No, sir.
Thank you. Next report is Intergovernmental Relations and Communications. It's my committee. I have no report. I'll answer any questions if there are any. Thank you. Next item on the agenda, item number 6, the mayor's report. No report. I will just report that over the last week or so, I've had the pleasure of attending a number of holiday eateries, starting with the line dance for senior citizens, also the employees luncheon here, stormwater committee luncheon, and they were all in celebration of the upcoming holidays. I want to thank all those people who took part, especially those who provided and prepared the foods. And I want to take this moment, this time, to wish all of our citizens, their families and friends and relatives and so forth, a happy holiday season. And that includes all of the holidays by whatever name they may be. That will conclude my report. I'll answer any questions if there are any. Hearing none, item number 7, City Manager's Report. Mr. Hodges.
Thank you. 3 things I'll report. First, we have completed the storm damage cleanup of the limbs and branches as we had previously announced, and we're well underway for the winter season and have our equipment prepared for that. I also would report that the departmental reports have all been completed. They've been included in the council packet. They've also been placed on file for public inspection. And then finally, I report that we will be finalizing and releasing the next issue of the Progress Community Newsletter tomorrow. I appreciate those that offered suggestions and comments on it. And we do plan to include the results of the holiday lighting results from the Beautification Commission in that document. But in case, tomorrow we will finalize it and release the progress. So that would conclude my report, but I would respond to any questions if there are any.
Any questions for our city manager? Next report is, next item is item 8, other reports. First of those being Law Director, Mr. Wycroft.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Since the last meeting, I had an opportunity to review and approve the court access contract that will be used in the future for people to pay their fines. Also, and that's not only their fines, but payment plans, everything. There was also a number of public records request issues from the police department because of our computer storage program issue that's going on. We got a little bit of good news this past week regarding that issue, that the technical company that's working on it, I think, they're getting closer and closer to a solution that will be able to restore some of our lost information. And also, I had previously approved the Wiener Law Firm contract, which is subject of your Ordinance 41, 2018. And I'm sorry the individuals left, but a little bit of information on this small cell tower. Originally, a couple years ago, there was legislation that was not beneficial at all, took away all local community control. A law firm that specializes in this area across the country, Ice Miller, represented 70 municipalities, and I believe Forest Park was part of that. I'd had several meetings with Dave Busking about this very issue. Ice Miller, through that lawsuit on behalf of 70 communities, got a compromise legislation. It was House Bill 478 and companion Senate Bill 331, sent up to Governor Kasich's desk for signature. It gave the municipalities a little more power over placement and cost you can charge, that type of thing. And the last meeting Dave and I had about this was they were trying to formulate as a group some rules, regulations, procedures for cities to follow. So it isn't something that's been ignored, but unfortunately, the federal government through the FCC and the state of Ohio through its legislation pretty much took the control away from the local municipalities. So that's where the problem lies. It's getting the state legislative body to listen to all these communities and getting the FCC to change their rules and regulations. And it's a daunting task, but Ice Miller's been working on it now, I think, for 3 years. So I hope that gives you some information about this issue.
May I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
So if it's kind of out of our purview in terms of our control or power or whatnot, then us approving a permit is moot because it could have gone on anyway?
Well, we have to approve these permits. We have some control over what we can object to, size, location, that type of thing, but we can't stop it. We can enforce aesthetics as an example, hide them on a pole where they aren't obtrusive, safety issues, that type of, and I mean safety like traffic and pedestrians, because there's a whole wealth of disagreements about electromagnetic energy and whether it does have any health effects. There are several cases years ago, no reliable scientific evidence came out. There were some studies here and there, but they weren't reliable. They weren't capable of being duplicated. So there's a lot of health questions still out there that are unanswered. But our ability to control is within the purview of some windows that the state legislative body have given us. As a charter community, we can't pass laws or do anything contrary to the general laws of the state of Ohio. And that's a general law of the state of Ohio.
Am I correct in believing that once our towers are in place where they're going to be in Forest Park, but that it will also, the 5G as a service will benefit the city of Green Hills as well?
That I don't know. I don't know the technical answer to that question.
Okay.
Anybody else? Mr. B?
So I think the one thing for me on that is, and I can't remember the city in Michigan that you cited, it had the ordinance or basically claiming no liability.
You can't.
Why would someone?
That's from what she was saying, my conclusion was, of course, I couldn't see the document, but that has to have something to do with insurance coverage. But that's Michigan. It's not here in Ohio, so I can't even.
True, and
I can't even address that.
I guess the root of my question is, what is this? Would there be any exposure to the city from a risk management perspective, considering that the city is not responsible for, or the service?
I can't imagine that there would be. We're not constructing it. I mean, that would be expecting the city to be liable if a home builder did something wrong and injured the neighbor's property. I mean, just because we gave the permit to build the new home doesn't make the city liable. And the same would be true here. If we're following state law, and of course, if we're following state law, this is governmental activity, there's sovereign immunity in the state of Ohio. I don't know if Michigan has sovereign immunity, and maybe they don't, and that's why they have to have that specified in their insurance policy. But here in Ohio, I can't perceive of any situation where the city would have liability for something Verizon's doing, and Verizon's doing it in accordance with the law.
Right, okay. And this is probably more of a conversation that needs to happen, you know, between Ray and you and all the others. But I think just that risk profile, and because I think the ladies are really talking about a level of advocacy that they're looking for versus how do you slant this from a legal perspective? Because we can't stop a business from conducting their business. So it'd be
Talking to
interesting
your mic.
what'll happen with your conversations.
Your mic. Use your mic.
Any other comments? Thank you. Then we would, thank you, Mr. Wyckoff. The next report will be Clerk of Council, Mrs. Dirks.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to report that ordinance numbers 28-2018 through 30-2018 and resolution numbers 36-2018 through 40-2018 were posted as required. And that concludes my report.
Okay, next, any questions for the Clerk of Council? Next item is item 9, unfinished business and general orders. Is there a motion, Councilwoman Herbie?
I would move to suspend the rules requiring the reading in full on 2 separate days and read for the second time by title only ordinances number 31-2018 and 32-2018.
Second.
Been moved and second that we suspend the rules requiring the reading in full on 2 separate days and to read second time by title only ordinances number 31 and 32-2018. Is there a discussion? Yes.
Just briefly, that this was read for the first time by title only on December 3rd, and also it was posted as required in order to do this motion.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, would the clerk please call the roll on the motion to suspend?
Burns?
Yes.
Herbie?
Yes.
Holt?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Moore? Collins?
Yes.
Nuss?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0. Move to item A, ordinance number 31, 2018. Would the clerk please read this ordinance by title only?
Ordinance number 31-2018. An ordinance appointing John R. Wyckoff, attorney at law, as solicitor, law director, and prosecutor, and authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract for the provision of legal services.
Is there a motion, Mr. Burns?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move for the adoption of ordinance numbers 31-2018.
Second.
Moved and second that we adopt ordinance 31-2018. Is there a discussion, Mr. Burns?
Thank you. This is an annual process, unlike some other contracts within the, unlike some other contracts, the law director's appointment is called out in the charter, and his salary is established by ordinance, which in turn calls for the reading of these on 2 separate occasions. This ordinance officially renews the contract with a 2% adjustment and appoints John Wyckoff as our law director and prosecutor for 2019. And with that, I would urge the adoption of ordinance number 31-2018.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, would the clerk please call the roll on the ordinance?
Collins?
Yes.
Herbie?
Yes.
Holt?
Yes. Excuse me.
Johnson?
Yes.
Nuss?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Ordinance 31, 2018 passes 6-0. Next item on the agenda is item B, ordinance 32-2018. Would the clerk please read this ordinance by title only?
Ordinance number 32-2018. An ordinance appointing Darren E. Nye, attorney at law, as public defender and authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract for the provision of legal services.
Is there a motion, Mr. Burns?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move for the adoption of ordinance number 32-2018.
Second.
Moved and second that we adopt ordinance 32, 2018. Is there discussion? Mr. Barnes?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This ordinance represents a reappointment of Darren E. Nye as the Public Defender for 2019. The current contract arrangement through 2018 provides compensation at a rate of $50 per hour for his services. By that, he is considered a contractor and not full-time, and thus paid for his services as they are rendered. And with that, I would urge the adoption of ordinance number 32-2018.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll on 32-2018.
Herbie,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Nuss,
Yes.
Burns,
Yes.
Collins.
Yes.
Ordinance 32-2018 passes 6-0. Next item on the business is new business. Is there a motion? Mr. Barnes?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move to suspend the rules requiring the reading in full on 2 separate days and read by title only ordinance number 33-2018. This ordinance was posted 6 days prior to the meeting.
Second.
Been moved and second that we suspend the rules requiring the reading in full on 2 separate days and read by title only ordinance number 33-2018. Is there discussion? Hearing none, would the clerk please call the roll on the motion?
Holt,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Nuss,
Yes.
Burns,
Yes.
Collins,
Yes.
Herbie.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0. First item on the new business, item A, ordinance 33-2018. Would the clerk please call the roll, please read that by title only.
Ordinance number 33-2018, amending annual 2018 appropriation ordinance 30-2018.
Is there a motion, Councilwoman Herbie?
I would move adoption of ordinance number 30, 2018.
33.
Excuse me, sorry, 33, 2018, thank you.
Second.
Moved and second to adopt ordinance 33-2018. Is there a discussion, Councilwoman Herbie?
Yes, this is a housekeeping item. It affects 3 funds, and it is basically a reduction in appropriations to match the expected revenue associated with those funds so that the appropriations in those won't be more than the revenues. And I would urge adoption of this ordinance.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, would the clerk please call the roll on ordinance 33-2018?
Johnson,
Yes.
Nuss, Burns,
Yes.
Collins,
Yes.
Herbie,
Yes.
Holt.
Yes.
Ordinance number 33-2018 passes 6-0. Next item on the agenda, it would be a motion. Mr. Barnes?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move to suspend the rules requiring a reading in full and read by title only resolution number 41-2018.
Second?
This resolution was posted 6 days prior to the meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved and second that we suspend the rules requiring a reading in full and read by title only resolution 41-2018. Is there discussion? Hearing none, would the clerk please call the roll on the motion?
Moore, Nuss, Burns,
Yes.
Collins,
Yes.
Herbie,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
I always said I'm ready to go home.
The motion to suspend the rules passes 6-0. Next item on the agenda is resolution number 41-2018. Would the clerk please read this resolution by title only?
Resolution number 41-2018, a resolution authorizing and directing the city manager to negotiate services and enter into an agreement with Keith D. Weiner and Associates Company, LPA, for collection of delinquent city obligations assigned to them by the city.
Is there a motion, Councilwoman Herbie?
I move adoption of resolution number 41-2018.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we adopt resolution number 41-2018. Is there a discussion, Herbie?
Yes, this is a recommendation from staff to hire Keith Weiner and Associates for collection of delinquent income taxes for accounts returned to the City of Forest Park from the Ohio Attorney General's office. This is one of the approved third-party vendors with the Ohio Attorney General's office, and any debts associated with this would be paid by, any collection fees associated with this would be paid by the debtor. And if approved, these collections would be placed first with the Ohio Attorney General's office and then sent to Mr. Weiner. So I would urge adoption of this resolution.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, the clerk please call the roll on Resolution 41, 2018.
Burns,
Yes.
Collins,
Yes.
Herbie,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Nuss.
Yes.
Resolution 41, 2018 passes 6-0. Next item on the agenda is item C, a motion. Councilwoman Moore is absent. Would somebody make that motion in her stead? Councilwoman Holt.
I would like to make a motion to send a letter expressing council support of the county public health tobacco 21 policy.
Second.
It's been moved and second that we send a letter expressing council support for county public health tobacco 21 policy. Is there any discussion?
No, I think the letters, did they go out?
The letter is in your packet, I believe.
Yeah.
And any discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, let it be known by the sign of voting aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes unanimously. This is one of the documents that when we do, each member of council must sign the letter individually. I will pass it around for you to do that. Sign on the line above your name. Next item on the agenda, item D, is a motion. Councilwoman Herbie.
Yes, I would move to receive the general fund summary reports as contained in the departmental reports.
Second.
It's been moved to second to receive the general fund summary report as contained in the departmental reports. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, let it be known by the sign of voting aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes unanimously. Next item on the agenda is item E, a motion. Councilwoman Holt.
I would like to make a motion to reappoint Ms. Eloise Richardson to the Parks and Recreation Commission for a term expiring November 30th, 2021.
Second.
It's been moved and second to reappoint Ms. Eloise Richardson to the Parks and Recreation Commission for a term expiring November 30, 2021. Is there discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, let it be known by the sign of voting aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Next item on the agenda is item F, a motion. Councilwoman Holt.
I would like to make a motion to convene an executive session to discuss personnel matters regarding the city manager's position.
Second.
Second.
Moved and second to convene an executive session to discuss personnel matter regarding the city manager. Is there any discussion?
None.
Hearing none, this requires a roll call vote. Would the clerk please call the roll on the motion?
Burns,
Yes.
Collins,
Yes.
Herbie,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Nuss.
Yes.
We will adjourn to the room behind us for the executive session, and let it be noted that there will be no official business conducted or voted on in the executive session. When we are done, we will return here where there'll be a motion to adjourn from the executive session, reconvene in the regular meeting, and adjourn the regular meeting. So at 9:19, we will adjourn into the executive session. And in the event that I forget it, when we come back, before you leave, everybody takes one of these, what are they called? Yeah, flowers, plants, whatever. Okay.